If you're already selling final expense or other life insurance products under an agency or insurance marketing organization that for some reason you're wanting to leave, getting a release can be just like pulling teeth. In most cases, it is kind of like going to the dentist. My name's Doug Massey, and if you're new to our channel, I want to welcome you, and I'd like to thank all of you guys for checking us out. I use the dentist analogy because a lot of agents are afraid or hesitant to ask their upline for a release. Kind of like being afraid or uncomfortable about going to the dentist. But like going to the dentist, once you've done it and you actually get the release agreement signed, the pain is gone and you got a shot at a better smile. Well, hopefully you're moving your contracts to an IMO or an agency that can bring you more value for selling life insurance, or in our case, final expense products, than the agency that you're currently with. I mean, think about it. If you can get higher commissions or access to better leads or better sales training by simply moving your final expense or life insurance contracts to a new agency, why wouldn't you want to do that? Well, another thing about getting a release agreement signed is that most IMOs don't really want to let you go and will actually play games and make excuses while taking weeks or months to sign something that actually takes a couple of minutes to print, sign, scan, and then email back to you. In this video, I'm going to share with you the best and easiest way to get them to sign, along with how to deal with them when they're dragging the process along and playing games. Stay tuned. Before we get into the video, if you have not subscribed to our channel, go ahead and hit that little subscribe button down there. This is important, especially if you're serious about selling final expense or if you're in the need for final expense sales training. So again, go ahead and hit that little subscribe button. Oh, okay, there you, yeah, that one. Yep, right. Okay, cool. Awesome, dude. Thanks. At the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to get the last will and testament along with the living will kit that I leave with every person I sell. These will kits are great for not only building rapport, but they're good for bringing extra value to each and every single one of your sales. So with that being said, let's get into the video, man. All right, so you got your appointments or contracts through an IMO, and you just found Moi, for example, on YouTube, and you're like, wow, Doug, your agency seems cool. How do I join you guys to get that awesome training and huge commission levels along with those killer leads? Keep this in mind. As long as you were originally contracted over 6 months ago and haven't written any business during the past 6 months with that carrier, you don't even need a release. And if you do need a release, here is the best way to go about getting it. First, you want to contact the commissions department of every single one of the insurance carriers that you have with that IMO. You want to ask them, hey, do I have any unsecured debt? Yeah, write that down, guys, because that's exactly what you want to know. They're going to tell you, and then you're going to ask them, well, can you do me a huge favor? Could you please email me something that shows that I have no unsecured debt as of today? Now, in many cases, you may not have ever even written any business through the carrier, so they can just send you an email with their name and position, along with the insurance carrier's logo, or at least the name of the insurance carrier that they work for, with a typed note saying, as you requested, this is the note showing that you have no unsecured debt or that you have yet to write any business with us as of today at this time of this email, blah, blah, blah. That's it, guys. Now you have proof to show your current IMO that you don't have any unsecured debt with that final expense carrier, and that there's no reason for them not to simply sign the dang release form instead of holding you hostage. And just to be clear, a lot of the insurers will just email you some type of a printout that shows the same thing, that you have no unsecured debt. Now, let me explain really quick the difference between unsecured debt and secured debt. Most final expense or life insurance carriers are going to give you a 9 months advance towards each of your sales. This is money that you have not earned until the client has been on the books and made payments for that 9 months. If your client falls off and stops making payments, let's say after 6 months into the policy, you actually owe that insurer back the remaining 3 months of that 9 months advance monies. So what happens as you're making your life insurance or final expense sales and adding sales to the books with that carrier, some of your sales are bound to fall off. This creates that unsecured debt. So the bottom line is that as long as you have more business staying on the books than you have fallen off, you should actually have plenty of secured debt. And as long as you have more secured debt than you have unsecured debt, there's no excuse for any IMO to hold you as a hostage and not sign the dang release form. Back to getting that release signed. Now that you have proof from each of the final expense or life insurance carriers that your debt is 100% secured, you need to prepare to make that dreaded phone call to your upline manager or to the president of the insurance marketing organization that you're contracted with. What you want to do is type an email and have everything in it, including the proof from each carrier, along with the release agreement that needs to be signed, all set up so that all you need to do is hit the little send button. In the body of the email, you want to write something like, "Hi, Jerry, in reference to our phone call about releasing me from the carriers that I have with you, I've attached proof that there is zero unsecured debt along with the release agreement to be signed. Please print this out, sign, and send it back to me immediately. Thank you very much, Doug." So now you get the guy on the phone. You say something like, "Hey, Jerry, can you do me a big favor? Are you at your email?" Whether they say yes or no, send the email. Then thank them for everything and ask them for the release. Explain that you've given them proof that you have no unsecured debt and that it's all in the email and you need them to go ahead and sign that release today, immediately, pronto. If they're not willing to sign or are not the top marketer that has to do the signing, ask for that person's name and phone number and email. Then do the same with them. Call them and email them. Now, in most cases, they're not going to sign today. They're going to start the process of stringing you along and not signing anything. Sadly, most of these final expense or life insurance IMOs would rather have you and your family eating out of a garbage can than to leave their final expense agency. The next morning, what you want to do is send them a reminder email. Then you want to give them a call and leave a message, as they're probably just going to ignore your call. Then call back later that afternoon and leave them another nice message. And then early that evening, you want to call again and leave them, yes, another nice, polite message. I highly recommend emailing them every single day and calling and leaving them messages 3 times a day going forward. Yes, every day, including Sunday. Now, you might be thinking, geez, Doug, that's a little extreme, don't you think? Guys, hold on. Think about it. During the time you've been watching this final expense training video, they could have simply printed, signed, scanned, and emailed the release back to you, or gotten their top marketer to do it. So by you simply following along with what I am suggesting, all you're doing is rightfully annoying them for doing something that they should have already done, and therefore eventually, usually sooner than later, they will sign the damn thing and send it back to you. Trust me on this. Now you can put your final expense contracts through anybody you want. I'm going to ask if you've gotten something out of this video to go ahead and click on the little thumbs up tab button below. If you'd like a copy of those will kits I mentioned earlier in the video, or if you'd like some information on our final expense training or sales training program, or how to be a final expense agent with us, email me at doug@ufesonline.com. Guys, happy hunting and good luck on selling final expense.